Welcome everyone to Module 1 of the Early Childhood Teachers course, where we will start to look at gender concepts and gender biases. In this module, we will introduce key gender concepts that will be used throughout the course. We will also explore gender in the South African context and help you reflect on your own ideas about gender, as well as identify the benefits of supporting gender equality and diversity. Let's start by asking the question, what is the difference between gender and sex? When a baby is born, we assign them a sex based on their biological makeup, such as genitals. For example, a male baby has a penis, a female baby has a vagina. Sometimes a person's biological makeup does not fit the typical definition of male or female. This is referred to as intersex. Gender refers to the personal and social characteristics that are associated with a specific sex. For example, caring for children is considered a role of a woman. Gender is socially constructed, and ideas about it can change over time. Most of us have been raised with the idea that there are two sexes, male and female, and that they align with two genders, which is a man and a woman. However, both sex and gender exist across a spectrum of possibilities. Gender is an important factor that shapes the way children are treated and what is expected of them. This is because society has traditionally taught us that there are different gender roles given to people based on their sex. This means that there are different activities, tasks, responsibilities, and expectations for people based on sex. For example, women must look after the house and take care of babies, while men must be the provider. Girls are often given toys that encourage caring for others, like dolls. They are valued for being cooperative, kind, and obedient. Girls are often socialized to become homekeepers, responsible for the well-being, feeding, and care of the family, placing less value on their educational attainment. Boys are often given toys that encourage critical thinking, such as building blocks, and are discouraged from playing with toys like cooking utensils or dolls. Right from the earliest age, boys are encouraged to lead and show authority, to be physically and emotionally strong, preparing them for their future role as provider and protector. Traditional gender roles and expectations can be limiting for children, holding them back from pursuing their potential or dreams, especially children who do not conform to traditional ideas about gender. For instance, girls thought to be too masculine or boys seen as feminine face pressures to conform or experience mistreatment by peers in school and can be condemned by the broader society. Gender stereotypes and biases are all around us, and all of us are influenced by them to some extent. They are harmful as they negatively affect our sense of identity and ability. As we become more aware of our own gender biases and stereotypes and those in our communities, we can change the way we respond to them. It is important that we create a world where all children are able to realize their full identity and potential, so that regardless of their sex and associated gender, they can have equal opportunities to live a full life.
Every child has the potential to inspire, create, and change the world around them. Gender equality means everyone, irrespective of their sex, has equal opportunities. This is vital for all children to realize their full potential. By the age of 3, children already become aware of the differences between genders and start adopting traditional expectations for male and female roles. By the age of 7, these gender expectations and gender stereotypes become more ingrained and trickier to challenge. This can have a long-lasting impact on how children perceive themselves and how they relate with others. Homes, schools, and early childhood development centers are important places where beliefs and ideas about gender roles can be broadened and challenged. Teachers and caregivers can play a key role in helping young children develop their full potential, irrespective of their sex.
In many societies across the world, people of different sexes are not seen as equal and can experience gender-based discrimination. Gender-based discrimination is the exclusion of a person from educational opportunities, meaningful careers, political influence, or opportunities for economic advancement based on their sex. Whereby gender equality is the absence of discrimination based on a person's sex and associated gender. It implies that society sees everyone as equal, regardless of their sex. People of all sexes and gender identities can be affected, but in many societies, women and girls, as well as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex LGBTI people are most disadvantaged. South African society is, to a large extent, patriarchal. This means that men are seen to have the authority in society, and that women are seen as secondary to men. The higher levels of gender-based violence and the higher HIV infection rates among girls and women in South Africa are tragic consequences of sustained gender inequalities related to prevailing harmful gender norms in our society, such as female disempowerment and harmful ideas about masculinity. These harmful ideas about gender roles are introduced to children when they are still small. Boys may be expected to be tough, and there may be less room for their emotions. Often, girls are brought up to believe they should be submissive and that they cannot lead and speak out. There are no winners from gender stereotypes and inequality. The negative impacts affect everyone in South Africa. The South African government is committed to protecting the rights of all children and has put in place several policies, legislation, and strategic plans to support gender equality. South Africa is currently the only African country to offer constitutional protection against discrimination based on sex, gender, and sexual orientation. As we come to the end of our first module, exploring key gender concepts, let's remember that as we become more conscious of gender stereotypes and biases, we can build a more inclusive and accepting world for everyone.